Dr. Michael Wilson is the principal here at Glen Iris Elementary School, one of the best performing schools in the Birmingham district. Now, the 850 students here at Glen Iris excel because not only are they in a dynamic learning environment, but also they have a faculty that is dedicated to helping them learn information and to equipping them with the kinds of critical thinking skills that will enable them to excel throughout a lifetime of learning. Now, schools don't develop this kind of culture on their own, and Michael is a big factor behind Glen Iris's success. Not only does he dedicate his time to ensuring that his staff are held to the highest of standards, which is a difficult challenge in itself, but also he works very hard to provide for them the kind of innovative resources they need to make a positive impact on the kids. Resources like the outdoor garden classroom that he started back in 2012, the very first of its kind in the city. When I got to sit down with Michael, I asked him about his experience here at Glen Iris, and it was very clear that despite the challenges of his job, he is very quick to find joy in his work.
Well, I'm a school principal, and that is a very broad term because generally what I'm charged to do is lead instruction for 850, 60 kids that I have right now. It's a wonderful job, but there's so many tiers to it. They're the kids, they're the parents, they're the adults in the building, the teachers, the staff, the custodial staff, the lunchroom staff. Someone always asks me, what's a typical day? And with 850 children, there is no typical day. But when I'm able to look at a group of children, say in the garden or even in the classroom, and see those lights switch on, it makes you happy. It gives you that good feeling inside. And it's hard to describe the feeling that you're doing the right thing. But it's just, other than the word joy, and that's such a simple word, but when you can say there's joy in what I do, now there are a lot of external things that are not so joyous and joyful, but the kids and the learning and the being in here, all those things go away for a while because you see the purpose and you see the product. You know, I get to see an immediate product every day of what I lead. And so there's just joy in it.
I also asked Michael about his faith experience and how that's influenced his work as a principal. And it was quite clear that his spiritual journey has worked together with his vocational discernment to impact his teaching in a powerful way.
Well, I grew up in a very traditional Church of Christ home. Every time the doors opened, we were there. And my mother had great intentions of me being a minister. As I look back, I always had these questions about, well, what's wrong with dancing, for example? What's wrong with swimming together? Why can't we have an organ? And I never could get those Bible-based good answers. Now, I could get scripture quoted, but it was always taken out of context. So, and I went on to college and I did what I was supposed to do for about a year. And then I just kind of went my own way for a while, and it wasn't all good. But God brought me back. Some people would say that was wasted time, 15 or 20 years. I don't consider that. There was a purpose in everything that I experienced. There's an old spiritual kind of hymn that says, God, don't take away my mountain, but teach me how to climb. Don't take away my obstacles, but teach me how to get around. And so you kind of have to look back, and anything that you do is struggle makes you stronger.
Now, one of Michael's comments to me was that God is not a God of no and can't. And it's pretty easy to see how this conviction has shaped his commitment to his kids. many of whom come from very difficult circumstances, and how it's allowed him to persevere in a political and social environment that can sometimes seem pretty dismal.
When it comes to the kids, it's about making sure that they have every opportunity that any other child has. And, I struggle with that a lot because I don't think that we give enough of a understanding when kids come from low socioeconomic situations, whether it's rural or urban or they're already coming to the table with less, and then we give them less. I really struggle with that, and so I do as much as I can in collaborating with teachers to write grants, to come up with new ideas, to bring things into the school to enrich and supplement. But in the whole scheme of things, I really shouldn't have to do that. You constantly hear throughout the New Testament Jesus talking about those who are in need the most. And that's where our attention should focus. So we have, why shouldn't another person have? It doesn't mean give everything you have to that other person, but it means that we need to be one community more. We need to be more sharing and caring. My children are our children. And when you think about community and you look at how we separate ourselves, yet every community has impact on another. And so eventually we have to realize that what our kids don't have, and I'm not saying give anybody a free handout. The more of our population that is not educated and doesn't have the opportunity to fulfill their dreams, the more anger there is, the more the more crime. There's got to be a more coming together. It bothers me that we're in a metro area that has 14 school districts. If you just thought about if people could come together and have one large school district, the resources we could have. So I just kind of leave it at that.